Welcome everyone, this is Zozo Stockwatch, and this is your Stockwatch list for Thursday, October 26th. A few trades we did in the room today on BONT. Alright, we said when BONT got over 0.90 this morning, and we got a nice pop up to close to $1.10 on that name. Went up to $1.13 on BONT. That was our first trade in it. Then later on in the session, we were watching the action in BONT, called it over 96 cents, and BONT went up again. So a couple of nice trades in BONT. Didn't get these trades, but we got this and this one in BONT. ALDX, we traded this one in the room, and I'll bring the room over for you. And let's see, BONT, good job, penny folks on BONT. And then ALDX, we called this one at 9:43 a.m. ALDX over 693, stop break of 684. All these calls are over the microphone and typed in, and I'll show you that action here. So here was ALDX, and we got a nice pop all the way up to I believe, yeah, 735. From that 693, we broke out over 7, and our stop never came into play, and a nice pop there on ALDX. If you want to join my service, just go to zozostockwatch.com. You can try us for 7 days for $9.99. You get on the private feed. You also get in the Omnovia room. You get my screen share. You get news and audio news in the room. If you want to go for the monthly, it's $84.95. All right, so come give us a try. ZozoStockwatch.com. You can lock in your price, and but if you want, you can try us for $9.99. If you're not a day trader and you're just a swing trader, we also have a private feed, $29.95 for just the private feed for access to that, and you can get my swing trades. So ZozoStockwatch.com. So here's our action in our overnight futures. It's about 13 minutes after 7 p.m. Eastern time, my time. Futures are down about 4. S&P futures down about 1. NASDAQ futures down about 4 on the futures for the start of the overnight session. For our calendar of events for Thursday, for economic information, we have initial jobless claims at 8:30, and then we have at 10 o'clock pending home sales, and then at 10:30 we have nat gas report, the nat gas report at 10:30. We do have some Fed speak tomorrow at 10:30, Neil Kashkari. 11 o'clock Kansas City Fed manufacturing, and then we have some numbers coming out from Japan for tomorrow night. No numbers from Japan or China for tonight, for Wednesday. If you click on this, you can see the companies reporting for tomorrow, and this is courtesy of the Trade Exchange. Before the market opens, you can see there's just a ton of earnings for October 26th, Thursday, and I'm not even going to begin to read them off to you. And then after hours, we have a ton of earnings coming out tomorrow after the bell, and I believe Amazon is one of them. Yep, Amazon is one of them. And let's see, is Google? Yep, Google is reporting tomorrow. I also believe Intel is reporting after the bell tomorrow. Let's see if I can see that. Yeah, Intel is reporting after the bell. A bunch of semi stocks reporting after the bell. So big day for earnings for tomorrow, and Microsoft is also reporting earnings tomorrow after the bell. So big day for earnings tomorrow, okay? And so it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. For your earnings calls for tomorrow, you see the number of, this is courtesy of the Earnings Cast, earningscast.com, and you can see all the earnings conference calls that will be going on for tomorrow. Just a ton of conference calls all day for the earnings calls. Let's go ahead and we'll get into some of the action from today. BONT, B-O-N-T, we called that one in the room twice. We got a beautiful trade in it twice. MGNX, top gainer for the day. DYN, LN, MARA, SNSS, USNA, and CAPR were some of your winners today. And then you can see ATOS, and they did an offering after the bell too tonight. ATOS. Juniper was a loser today. VRTX down today. So there's your losers. ALK, Alaska Air. And for your options activity, call activity, Zynga, ZNGA, AAN, True, ETFC, ALXN, WM, CHK, and AGNCDK put activity on that side of the ledger. So we'll go ahead and look at some of the news that came out after the bell tonight. And let's see, we had Amgen had earnings after the bell. All right, so Amgen came out with earnings after the bell, and we'll take a look at that stock, AMGN, biotech name, and popped and dropped down for the biotech. NBIX had some news after the bell, but not much going on there. LVS had earnings after the bell, and that one popped, held its gains on LVS. Let's see, we'll scroll through these fast. SRPT also had earnings after the bell, popped, and held most of the gains there on SRPT. FFIV had earnings after the bell, and very volatile after the bell on FFIV. Another one, LM had earnings after the bell, and that one beat by 9 cents, so LM was up in after hours. BWLD, they earnings per share beat, revenue missed, but raised 2017 numbers, and so BWLD just killing the shorts in the after hours tonight, up let's see, from 100 up to about 126 at one point, now at 121, so up almost $26 on Buffalo Wild Wings. So some shorts got leaning the wrong way there. VRTX had earnings after the bell. VRTX, another biotech name, volatile, and then ended up the session, you know, kind of where it started there. Next up, we had a WLL, Whiting Petroleum. Nice pop in Whiting Petroleum and held the gains on WLL. NOW, they had earnings per share beat, revenue miss, and that stock went down in the after hours. Netgear had earnings after the bell, NTGR, and that stock selling off in the after hours. Let's see if there was anything else. Nike, big pop today on CEO comments from their analyst day, and big pop with Nike, and I think they took Foot Locker up with them also. Yeah, Foot Locker went up, and Finish Line also went up with Nike today. So maybe those stocks are back in play. XLNX had earnings, semiconductor name, and that stock dropped. Earnings per share beat, revs in line, and that stock was down in the after hours on that semi. Callaway, ELY, not much after hours on their earnings, and as we said, Buffalo Wild Wings, big pop. You know, the sympathy play to Buffalo Wild Wings is this wing, and that was up a tad, WING. So that one might be on watch for tomorrow as a sympathy play to Buffalo Wild Wings. Trove filed, TROV, Trove, and that stock was down in after hours. ORLY, they had earnings, and that stock selling off. There's a fear that Amazon is going to get into the auto parts business. So ORLY sold off there on that name. Let's see, MYOS filed. MYOS, not much action there. And then, as you can see, some of the earnings after the Thursday's close, and some before Thursday's open for tomorrow. So that's some of your news that hit after the bell. UPS announces U.S. rate change. So I guess they're raising their prices again, right? They never lower. Does anybody ever lower their prices? And let's see, LSTR, another one that had earnings, not much action there. ORLY we spoke about. BGG, earnings per share and revenue beat, and that stock gapped up. Briggs and Stratton up in the after hours tonight. So let's see, AGEN They had some news after the bell. AGEN, not much action there. And we'll just scroll through it. MAA, another earnings, not much action there on MAA. MBVX filed S3, MBVX, and that stock was down a little bit in the after hours. ATOS, they did an offering, and that stock sold off today, and then they did the offering, and then it was down even more in the after hours on ATOS. And I think that's about it for, you know, the news after the bell. There's a few other companies, but, you know, you can see the tons of information from the trade exchange, and the news coming out is just, you know, nonstop all day. It's amazing. And the audio news that you get from the trade exchange. So let's go ahead and look at some of the market action today. We had the SPY pull down to below the 20 SMA and about down to that 254 area on the SPY, and there's my lines. Now these are a lot of intraday lines, so sorry about that, so I'll take them off again. Just note that for tomorrow, this 254 is a very important spot for tomorrow. Okay, we had a low today of exactly 254, so if you watch the SPY, watch this 20 SMA for tomorrow. Let's see if the bulls can hold that. So 254 is in play, and then to the upside you have 256.31. So that's your kind of range for the day on the SPY, so keep an eye on that. Now I don't know what other videos talked about last night, but we were the only ones talking about TZA, UVXY, TVIX, etc., SDS, and whatnot, and we had some good trades in these. And this was the ETF DOG, and that also popped today. So we'll see if there's some continuation moves in these inverses. When you go long these, basically you're shorting the market. So we'll see if they set up again for tomorrow. SPXU is another one, TZA is one, SDS is another, and then if you want to play volatility, TIVX and also UVXY is another one for the volatility. And you see the volume that came in on those. VIX, we'll take a look at that real fast. You know, once again, VIX popped and then pulled back. You know, it's been doing that a lot. Pops, pulls back. So, you know, no real fear yet out there. But, you know, we'll see tomorrow what tomorrow brings. GLD, I tried a trade today in JNUG, and personally, I think you should just currently just avoid this thing. I tried a small trade in this when it got over 16, and the darn thing just would not go. I think it's a dead soldier basically. I tried it right here actually. This afternoon, and when it got over 16, I think it was 1603, 1602, somewhere in there, and so it would have been right on the break of 16. It kind of moved up, and then it came back at me. Actually, well, let me see if I'm in the right place. No, that was later in the afternoon. Okay, it was right here. Sorry about that. All right, so it was right here. Let me put an arrow there. See if how quickly the day passes. Anyway, so I tried it right here, all right, JNUG, and tried it. It got over 16, popped to about 1609, so it wasn't really enough money to take a trade. It kind of failed at the same level, 1610, and then, you know, I got out basically for a few pennies loss on JNUG, and then it continued down. And today was a down day in the market, and you know, GLD just cannot get, you know, going here. I don't know, I think Bitcoin basically is ruining gold right now, so I don't know, I could be wrong, but anyway, that's GLD. So anyway, next up we'll take a look at the IWM. And that one, you know, the buyers came in. Dip buyers are always coming in, and they pushed it back up, but we are still below the 20 SMA. IBB didn't fare as well, but we are at this 100 SMA. So, you know, it's a nice pullback here. We'll see what they want to do with this tomorrow. But we have held this 100 SMA before, so we'll see. XBI, kind of same thing, trying to hold above this 50 SMA, but still, above the 100 SMA. And we'll just take a quick look at a bio stock like Juno. Not really doing too much, but SRPT had earnings today, and they sold that one off too, and they beat on their earnings, but still, actually, the stock came out with earnings after the bell tonight. Sorry about that. So here's SRPT. So it's trading around $50 a share, right? So it's trading like right about here in the after hours is what I meant to say. So we'll see. Maybe this SRPT wants to get going tomorrow. So that's just one of the ideas I have on my watch list. I'll give you some more in a second. And then the Dow Jones. Basically, we were short. I was shorting this today with the DOG, got like 12 cents out of it, and sold some. And right now we're just holding this 5 EMA. Can't get that whoosh down yet. Maybe tomorrow we'll get a whoosh down. I'm still holding a little bit of the DOG, and I'm holding some TZA also. So we'll see what those inverses want to do for tomorrow. All right, let's go ahead and we'll get right into the watch list. It's going to be kind of a small watch list tonight. That's why I was kind of talking about some other things. And AMDA, nice pop here, 15 million shares. We'll see how it sets up intraday. Some of these shippers were moving today, dry ship. So here's DCIX. It's an under 50-cent name. Keep your eye on that. I mean, if Dries is going to, continue up, some of the other shippers might catch some buying. Some other shippers are like SHIP. That one not so pretty on this 15-minute chart. SINO. This thing pops and drops all over the place. DSX, not doing much. NATE, not doing much. So it's very selective. GLBS is also kind of on my watch list. It's a $1 shipper. So you might want to have this one. This is once again a 15-minute chart. If we go to the 30 chart, calms things down a little bit. If we go to the 60-minute chart, calms it down a little bit more. And so you could see, over this 110 or something. Dries, made a really nice move today. I didn't get any trades in it today, Dries, but we did on Monday. We got a few trades in Dries. And so on the 60-minute, you got this big pop, then it pulled back. But maybe shippers are in play right now, so we'll see. I'll go back to my daily chart. Here's a GoPro. I don't know, kind of, it was green today, so I guess that puts it on the list. Something that was green, out of the ordinary. 6.9 million shares, roughly, and, basing below this 50 SMA and that $10 area. And, I mean, maybe GoPro wants to get going. It had a big run up, then it pulled back. And so we'll see if it wants to, maybe into the Christmas holidays on GoPro. LPTH also popped today. We'll see if this sets up intraday, maybe a red to green. NEOT, the daily chart might be setting up here. You had this big pop, you pulled back, now you're trying to get over this 130, 132 area on this stock, 4 million shares, so it'll be on watch. NK, a little bit of a pop here. It's a biotech. I'm not too impressed with this one. I mean, look at all the work it has to do, and the shares, the volume was 176,000, so not a favorite. Potash, actually, considering it held up pretty well, held above the 10. I'm looking at this for a possible swing trade in POT. We'll see. Then there's the laggard MOS. AGU is another one that's kind of holding up. IPI, I think, pulled back today, yeah. And Moss and Monsanto. So, we'll see. Potash, right. Oh, and then there's a CF. This one also held up today. Maybe it needs to get over like this 38 spot on CF. So that's a couple ideas there. Roca was popping. I don't know. Nobody can tell me why it was popping. I didn't see any news. So it was just popping for the sake of popping. So we'll see, if this one wants to make a move tomorrow. Roca. SENS, it popped here, and now we have a slight pullback here. So maybe if it gets back over, 275, 280 on SENS, we might get a trade in that one. SKLN, this one, does a lot of popping and dropping here, a lot of fake outs. So we'll see. Not a favorite. SNGX. This one trying to get over, this 240, 245, and then maybe continue up through 250. Volume was over 900,000 shares. Let me see, was this doing anything in after hours? Yeah, it was up a little bit in the after hours tonight. So we'll see. SRAX, it's been popping, dropping. We got a trade in this the other day. Wanted to trade it today, but just didn't give me the trigger or the setup I wanted. So I would think if this gets back over, maybe 455 or so, you might want to keep an eye on that. SRRA, nice pop here today. 3.4 million shares traded. I mean, it's had a nice run already. Maybe some kind of red to green or something in that name. Tops, another shipper. We'll go back to our 60-minute chart. And, see it's starting maybe to turn back up on top. So if Dries is going to go, maybe this one will go tomorrow. UAN, and back to our daily chart. This is an ag name, and over 900,000 shares traded. So maybe over that 350, 355 spot on UAN it might go. Like we said, WLL, they had their earnings. It popped up. So we'll see if this one is in play tomorrow on their earnings. XCO, nice candle here, over 900,000 shares. Let's see, back here we have a high of, let's see, right here we have a high of $2.30. And then before that we have a high of 235. So maybe it wants to do a continuation move up to these spots here on XCO. So, let's see, after hours it was holding 167 area, XCO. And that's pretty much it for the list. All right, so if you're interested in my service, you can come try it for $9.99. You can get in for 7 days. You can see the Omnovia room. We do screen sharing of all my scans. We have news audioed into the room, etc. So come give us a try. All right, and it is getting close to Halloween. So if you want to give yourself a little pre-Halloween trick or treat, and this would be a treat. If you want to give yourself a treat for Halloween, spend $9.99 and come check out the service. All right, have a very nice evening, folks, or morning when you watch this, or late evening, whenever that may be. This has been Zozo Stock Watch, and thank you so much for listening and subscribing to the YouTube channel.